Hey, I know somebody's there. But I wanted to stop by, but I won't be able to stay for very long because I need to get dinner and then go.
That's okay. This is Patty, by the way. That's okay. No worries. The only reason I have my video muted right now is technical difficulties. I have to use my my tablet, and I have to hold it up to my face to let people in so I can see who's coming in.
Okay, yeah. No
That's
worries. I can stay for like 15 minutes or half an hour, but I have an 8 a.m. class tomorrow, so then I need to
no
have some.
problem. No problem. We stop on by anytime. That's fine.
Well,
Hi,
yeah,
Matt.
I wanted to make an appearance for once because I've been MIA lately, but
Well, we appreciate it. Believe me, it's all good. Who else is coming in? More people are coming in as we speak. Sorry, I'm kind of MIA right now. I'm doing a little technical background stuff. Welcome, Ewan. We're just in waiting mode right now.
Okay.
Hey, Ewan. We're just in waiting mode right now.
Got
I'm
it.
allowing I'm allowing people in, and my video's off because I'm using my tablet, which I have to keep up to my face, so no one wants to see me that close up. Also, I'm going into mute while I let people in and do some technical stuff.
Okay.
Hello. Didn't realize my hair was so funky.
Oh, mine gets that way every time I take my hat off.
It looks good. I like it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kialani, my video is going to be off for a while because I'm having to use my tablet and I can't see the tablet, so I'm like letting people in, but it has to be like right up to my face, and I'm
No,
not ready for my close up. So,
no worries. No worries. That's funny. Yep, it looks like we've got Matthew LaFleur in here. So nice to see you.
Mhm.
Chana and Eliza. Duce. I
she is she is here.
yes.
Ewan's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Ewan's
And
here. Hello.
what is the thing read.ai meeting notes? That's just the AI portion of Zoom now.
Yep, so it'll help with the meeting minutes
Okay,
basically. Yep.
Do we
cool.
trust this?
Yes.
No.
I
Is Matt.
think
It's
that was the right answer. Yes, no.
it's not it's not, 100% accurate as most AI is as of right now. But so we'll still take notes and compare it to
This is Matthew.
our
That Read AI is somebody else's account. Just let you know, I used to have one. That's then I got that. Then the Zoom, the one that says Zoom one, the one that says you can do the Zoom is different. Both two of the AIs that are in here are different. So one Read AI is someone's actually using that for their account
oh,
for their own
somebody
good.
is using their
Yeah.
Yep.
The one that's on Zoom that I can request to you, basically all it does, it breaks down. All it does is nothing, all it does, it breaks it down. It doesn't tell you, it doesn't keep, it keeps meeting notes, but it doesn't tell, but it doesn't broadcast it to to the rest of the world. It basically keeps it for you, for your information of what's being said, it breaks down what's being said, summarizes it. So if I want to turn on, like, for example,
Matthew, we just lost you.
Macy's
yes,
here.
I'm still here. That mode right there, basically that I just asked for a host to request. Basically,
I saw it.
it won't broadcast it to everybody. Basically, it just breaks down
Right, got
what's
that.
being said. So
And then it
basically,
reports it to the man.
yeah, but besides that, read it. But the one in Zoom is actually more, it breaks down what we say, and but it's more transparent. But the Read AI is somebody else's account.
Okay.
So
I
just
like
breaking it
that.
down.
I like that Ewan got both Kilani, the younger person, and the older person, answer at the same time. Kilani said yes. I said no.
Hi,
And
Yeah,
I
Ma-
but,
text.
Hi, Macy, and welcome.
Hi, Macy.
Yes, hi, Missy.
Hey, good to see you all.
Good to see you too.
I was gonna ask if you make Kaylani the co-host if you want to. I know you're co-hosting, but you can also make Kaylani the co-host if you want to help out with Zoom and stuff. And it's like both of you can work with it, so it ain't just one person trying to control it. So you can actually make Kaylani the co-host if you need extra help.
Oh, are you talking to Patty? Matt, to me?
Yes.
Okay, I have okay.
Yeah, I believe I am the co-host.
Yeah,
I
you
do
are the
have,
co-host.
yep. On top of it, thank you, Matthew. And yes, so Missy and I were talking about using the AI companion for notes earlier via email. So all exciting and new and scary AI, but helpful in this
Well,
case.
not really. Yeah, not scary. Just it's kind of a joke when it comes to something like this. And honestly, I've just started using AI to create videos and things. I'm like, oh, I've gone to the dark side. So
Going to the
it's
dark side.
they say this with every new tech. Like they said this about TV back in 1940s. It's all
Right.
progress and scares everybody, and whatever. We are going to be taken over by the machines one day, but I'm sure we'll be dead by then, so no worries.
Some of us sooner than that.
Yeah, really.
Oh, what a world we live in. So, I think
I've
we'll
got
just wait
6:04 right
a
now.
little longer. Yeah, I'll wait until 6:05 and then get it going. Um, Officially, I think. And
I'm here. I just don't have the best service and I have to keep working, but I am listening. And if you need me, I'm here.
okay, Chana, thank you. Okay, well, I will start, I will call this meeting to order at 6:05. I know I don't think everyone is here yet, but we may as well just get started and the nitty-gritty going. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the August 2025 meeting of the Vermont Democratic Disability Caucus. For those watching the recording or joining us for the first time, the mission of this caucus is to create visibility and a strong voice for the disability community in Vermont politics by providing an intersectional space for disabled people to connect, create safety, and build political power. Madam Secretary, we have quorum. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Fantastic. So just a quick note, we do have two of our executive members here. Nick is going to be a little late. He had a select board meeting, special meeting that came up. But we can still continue with and vote because we have quorum. So to begin with, yes. Our first order of business is to go over the minutes and the agenda. We are going to table the June minutes for the time being. We didn't get to those last meeting, but
And that is my fault. Yes.
it's okay. We'll get to them eventually. But we do have the July minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the July
So moved.
meeting minutes? Moved
Approved.
by Ewan and seconded by Patty. Do we have any discussion on the
Yeah.
July minutes? Ewan?
Just it needs proofreading. There's no major error in it that I can see. Just like treasurer Mike Pichak is referred to as treasure. He might be dear to our hearts, but I don't know that I would call him a treasure exactly. He's a
Yeah.
treasurer. He takes care of the things that mean a lot to us.
I read right over that. I didn't catch that. Yeah. Patty, can you make a note to edit that?
I was a proofreader and an editor for 30,
Right.
40 years.
Right.
No, Ewan, I appreciate that so much. Oh my God, I don't know why, but the meeting notes are the bane of my existence, and I try to get through them every month. And I don't know why it's so, but I'm glad I welcome the what do you call it? Constructive criticism, because
Yeah.
I get lost sometimes. I'm like, what does this guy do? Oh yeah. And I love hearing and getting the information from folks. And then I'm
Well,
just
at
like,
least-
what? Oh no. So thank you.
At least
Well,
at least I read it.
Yes.
I
People are reading them. And the AI companion might be able to help with these things in the future. Okay, all in favor of approving the July minutes with this edit, please indicate so by raising your hand or saying aye.
I
All against, please raise your hand or say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, please let the August minutes reflect that the motion to approve the July minutes has passed. So second up is the agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda for this meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Ewan. Do I hear a second?
second.
Seconded by Misi, I saw. So do we have any discussion on the August agenda for today?
I have a point of order, which is, Macy, have you been voted in as a member?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Checking.
On top of it. Has not been voted in as secretary yet, but
I
we're
get
getting
it.
there. Okay. So was there any discussion? Okay, we're good. All those in favor of approving today's agenda, please indicate so by raising your hand or saying aye.
Aye.
Hi, Dave. Hi. All against, please raise your hand or say nay. Any abstentions?
Matthew, there we go.
Okay. So I believe the ayes have it. Please let the minutes reflect that the motion to approve the agenda for August today has passed. Moving on to officer reports, quite a bit happened. So I will start by sharing a really cool piece of information. Jim Ramsey, the chair of the VDP committee, and also a member of this caucus, got me in touch with myself and Asher, the former chair of this caucus, in touch with Leslie Templeton, who is the chair of the Young Democrats of America Disability Caucus. And we are hoping to have her join us for a meeting to compare notes, pick her brain, for instance, about how to like how they fundraise, find out about how their caucus works, what they're working on, and all of that good stuff. I will put their website and Leslie's information in the chat. Hold on 1 minute, please, while I find the chat. There we go. Okay. So second, I would like to report that I sent a fairly strongly worded email to pretty much everyone I could think of at the VDP, to start the conversation on funding. First being funds for an ASL interpreter. We have had a citizen who has wished to become a member of the Disability Caucus for over a year now, but cannot due to our lack of funding to pay for an ASL interpreter at our meetings. It's obviously core to our mission and values that we are as inclusive and accessible as possible, and we have
Right.
searched for volunteer pro bono services since our inception of the caucus, and we've been unsuccessful in finding an ASL interpreter. And I personally feel it's exceedingly hypocritical about having this barrier. And if we did have an ASL interpreter at our meetings and we were able to advertise so, we would open the doors to so many more people in the Vermont disability community to participate in their government, and we would also be honoring our commitment to making Vermont a truly accessible state. So, I did hear back from the VDP, and there was some conversation of possible ideas for uh, things we could use, but no answers yet. So unfortunately, we don't have, I was hoping to say yay and invite that person today, but that is not going to happen. I'm hoping for the our next meeting we will have someone, and also that this conversation, like I said, is opening the door to discussions on further funding. I'm gonna skip talking about the task force for creating the legislative agenda for now, because we're running a little bit behind, and I can talk about that during caucus business or other announcements. And I'm doing that because I would like to give a pretty cool update that I know we have all been anxiously waiting for. The caucus page on the VDP website is live, and I just put it in the chat. Please don't go clicking through and like don't like stop paying attention to the meeting. If you do look at it right now, there are some obvious edits, and Secretary West is available to make them. Like I would like to see our Facebook group link on there, and We will obviously need our new secretary photo and bio once we elect them. And excuse me, I would ask that everyone take a look if they have time, and if they are interested in doing so, please email me their own edits by September 10th. And I will make sure to get them to Secretary West to update into the his next round of updates. Finally, I would like to put a call to action out to our members. Between each meeting, your homework is to invite at least one nominal person in your community or circle whom you think might be interested in becoming a member, and invite them to our next meeting. Our next meeting, September 30th, we will have Treasurer Mike Pichek, as noted in the minutes. And he's going to talk to us about S27, the medical debt relief bill. So this is going to be a pretty interesting meeting, and it will also be our opportunity to chime in and exclaim how we could have been recruited sorry, I lost my train of thought there, to provide our expert input and feedback to make bills like this even better as they affect the disability community directly. So I'm pretty excited about that one, and it brings me joy to give out homework. So um, with that, I will take any discussion, and then we can move on to Patty's report. Anyone have any questions? Matthew.
Yes, and thank you, Kalani, for bringing this up, about the whole ASL. I see that. I think it's going to take more than just words. I think it's going to take government to realize and understand, unless they have a disability, they're not going to go forward with it. It's a sad thing. Believe me, my town is supposed to have a good ADA. It's supposed to have an AS, supposed to have a sidewalk, but a sidewalk meant for wheelchairs, but doesn't even have that. That's pretty bad if you can't get basic access to. This is what I'm seeing across my work across the state is Vermont won't bend over unless the governor bends over. That's pretty much how it's going to take to get the governor to say, hey, we're done playing around. You got to follow the law. This is disability accommodation, even a minor accommodation. Like I said, having ASL, that's minor basic accommodations. If you can't do that, then to me, it's like, what is government for in the first place if you can't abide by those laws? There is a law in place, and I think, it needs to be emails, messages, may not. I think just a call to the governor's office and say, hey, you need to respect people with disabilities right now, this moment, because you are going against impeding that right as is.
Yeah, I
You
appreciate
need to
your
really need to put your
concern.
foot down and chew out the governor on this, because then the governor listens and say, oh, I should do better, or I'm going to get in trouble. Then he knows that he's going to get in trouble, keeps it up this way.
Thank you,
It's
Matthew.
something,
Yeah.
it's just what I've been doing to him. I say, you need to obey what the current law says, and you need to put our foot down and say, this is basic accommodations. And if you can't do that, it tells me that you're neglecting your duty.
Yes, yes, we will certainly put our foot down. I think I did put my foot down fairly loudly in this email. And like I said, I did get some positive responses and talking going. If I have to move it up the ladder, I will. Don't you worry. But you're right, it's a basic accommodation. I did get the question, why can't this deaf person just use closed captions? So I had to explain why that was an ableist thing to say, though the question was probably coming from an innocent place. But an ASL interpreter and closed captions are two very different things. I mean, imagine this yourself. We don't have anyone who is deaf here, try to participate in this meeting if you turned off the volume and had to read the captions the whole time. Like you wouldn't be able to participate. Um, Speaking of which, I can't see the captions. Are they on?
I might say they are, so they should be on. That's a
Okay.
question with Patty. Patty or yourself. You can turn it on, turn
I
it off. I
think,
think you
I
can.
think, I think that's individual, isn't it? If a person wants captions, you turn it on at your
That's right. That's right.
computer.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember how that
Yep, that's fine.
how that changed. Okay, great. So with that, we are running a little bit behind. I apologize, Dave, but before we get to you, Patty, can you give a quick update?
I can. And I myself out of the meeting somehow, and like I'm a tech person, and I was like, this is embarrassing. So I'm back now, and um, I've just again been waiting, hopefully, for the web on the VDC, which I'm glad to hear the page is up. Um, that's okay, Eliza. We appreciate you being here. So I've just basically been doing a lot of downloading of the information that's on our current website, so that we could put it up on another website if we got more than one page. But I'm getting the feeling right now we're just going to have an informational page happening, because at some point I'm going to have to take the website down, our big website, because as we know, I'm paying for that. I'm paying for the domain, and I'm paying for the Zoom meeting, and I've been doing so for about almost 2 years now, which
You
was
shouldn't be paying for the Zoom meeting anymore.
um I will check when I last paid for it. I thought it was just like 8 weeks ago or something. So who is paying for it?
The VDP, that's why we worked with Deb and had it switched over. So
Okay.
you and I can work this out.
It was on
Fine.
auto pay. It may not be charging me. I'll go back and double check. All my stuff's on auto pay. I just put money
Okay,
in there
and
and
we'll
hope for the
corroborate dates
best.
on
But
when that should
yeah.
have stopped.
And
Um,
I guess my question with that is when should I stop the big site, or are we working on trying to fund it, or what?
so the new page that Secretary West put up on the VDP site, it does include the resources
From our
um,
site?
from our site. I believe
Is it
he got all of them. I didn't have time to check. He sent it off right before we started the meeting.
okay? No,
Um,
that's fine.
but I think they're all there. So we have time to send him edits, and then we should be able to, I think, actually have everything we want, um, and um, and shut down the big site without losing anything.
Okay. Oh, so they're gonna have a full website for us?
It's it's basically a full website, nice and compact into one page. Yeah, when you have a chance to take a look, let me know what you
Okay.
think. And again, everybody do the same and send me edits
Okay.
and your input by September 10th. That way I can get stuff back to Jonathan to fix.
Okay. So that's basically it. I'm just waiting. As everyone knows, I'm winding down as secretary. I have two other things that I'm taking care of that just keep getting busier and busier. Two things I adore: doing my music and performance, and doing animal cat rescue, and also working toward making the laws better for that type of situation for animal rescue and things like that. And so I apologize. I have to kind of step down. I'll still be here at the meetings and be able to volunteer for stuff, but as we don't have June meeting minutes because of me. So, you know, you'll be better off when the next secretary gets voted in, believe me. But that's
Oh,
about it.
okay. Well,
No, no, I'm not down on myself. I adore myself. I'm fabulous.
okay.
But I'm just saying.
So
I'm
you are
a wonder to
fantastic,
behold,
Patty.
but I
You are amazing, and you've been a fantastic secretary, and
thank you.
this
Thank you.
caucus wouldn't have been able to get off of its feet without you.
Oh, well, thank
So
you.
you are the best. Thank you. With that, we are just a little bit behind 5 minutes, not a big one. I did get a couple notifications that a few of our regular members, Eldon is not going to be able to make it. So I still would love it if we had oh, I'm sorry, Dave. I have you speaking at 6:40. We're going on to voting in our new secretary now. I got a little mixed up there.
Do whatever works for you.
Okay, great. I got my own agenda mixed up.
Okay.
Um, so as I see, we don't have any new members here with us. Our first item of business is to vote in our new secretary. As Patty just mentioned, she is stepping down because she needs to focus on her animal rescue, volunteer work, and her lovely music. If you haven't heard her play or and sing, you're missing out.
Oh, thank you.
Highly recommend. Um, so last excuse me, I've been talking a lot today. I'm losing my voice. 2 meetings ago, we nominated in our fairly new member, Missy Fairfax, and then she went on vacation, and we haven't seen her for a couple of uh, um, meetings. And so for those who need a refresher, Missy, like I said, is fairly new, but she has shown great interest in our work and has provided really great feedback and discussion when she's been with us. And I find that she is highly qualified for the position. She serves as a strategy director for the Complete College of America and has worked decades to advance equity in previous roles in education and healthcare. She's also a TRIO and McNair Scholar alum and holds a bazillion degrees. Not to mention, she's a recent graduate of Emerge alongside member Beth Esmond, who also could not make it tonight. In addition to all of this, she advocates for accessibility in higher education and is looking to do that on behalf of all Vermonters. After last meeting, we asked for any other nominations. I will do one last call here for any nominations if there are others who might want to put their hat in the mix. Going once, going twice. Okay. I think before we vote, I think I need to ask, then you can correct me if I'm wrong. Missy, do you accept the nomination?
Sincerely and humbly, yes, I do.
Okay, great. Is there anything you would like to say or add?
Well, I'm excited to support the work of this group, to uplift it in all the ways, and I'm just thrilled at the time. I'm thrilled to have the opportunity. I have learned quite a bit with my own disability and that of my partner. So I look at this as an opportunity to continue to advocate and grow alongside you and to get some shit done. So
Yeah.
excited.
Awesome. Okay. Do I hear a motion to vote in Missy Fairfax to take the position of the Vermont Democratic Party Disability Caucus Secretary?
So moved.
Moved
Seconded.
by moved by Ewan and seconded by former Secretary Patty. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. All those in favor, please indicate so by raising your hand or saying aye.
I
All those against, please raise your hand or say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, please let the minutes reflect that the motion to vote in Missy Fairfax as our new VDDC secretary has been approved.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Thank you, Missy.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you all. Patty, I got a shadow. It's gonna be a big role to fill. So looking forward to connecting and learning.
Oh no, you'll be fine. You'll be perfectly fine.
Yes, yeah, you're gonna do great, Missy, and you and I and Patty will meet, we'll email offline and not offline, off the meeting, and get you oriented and up to speed.
We're gonna meet
Um,
off grid in the woods.
Off grid in the woods.
That sounds
We'll
so good these days.
I know,
light a
right?
fire and have s'mores.
Don't forget your tick gators.
Yeah, right. Ugh. Okay, so we have a couple more minutes before we have Dave come and talk to us. What I would like to chat about really quickly is a task force. Let me just find it in my notes. So I'd like to assemble a task force in creating our legislative agenda. They would meet once or twice to make a clean and specific, probably like 5-point agenda. Um, we would solicit views and needs or concerns from our members, and um, I would also like to open this to the disability community at large in a way by posting it to our Facebook page. I think this would be a good way to crowdsource ideas and see like what the big issues are on people's minds. I would also like to nominate this task force today if we can. I did speak to Eldon and he is interested um, in joining. And I would also like to do the same for our rapid response team if we have a chance to talk about it, but that might require Elizabeth Burrows to be present. It was her sort of brainchild, and she and I did not get a chance to talk about like the nitty-gritty and logistics over the past month. So perhaps we table that until she comes in and we can talk about it during other business or uh yeah, next time. So is there anyone here at this current meeting who would be interested in joining a little task force to help create our legislative agenda? Missy? Okay, great. Thank you.
I would be
Okay.
happy to join that,
Ewan,
Lonnie. Patty too.
Patty. Okay. Patty,
Me too, me too.
Macy, Ewan, Chana, and Eldon. Okay. Great. And perhaps I can send out an email. I'll send an email to all of you and also to the caucus, saying that, you know, we're looking for members, and then we can decide on a date to meet for the first time, maybe sometime mid-September, to get at least like one on the books before our next meeting, our next full caucus meeting. Good, good. And so same thing with the rapid response team. Um, yeah, I do think we should probably table that for when Elizabeth is here. Is everybody cool with that? Okay. So the legislative agenda, like I said, I'm thinking like a specific, maybe like 5 point, very clean and concise agenda would serve us well. But I want to cast like a wide net first, and then the task for this task force is to whittle those down um, to like you know the finer like 5 maybe 8 points. Um, and I think I can get that posted onto our Facebook page at the end of this meeting if everybody's okay with that.
I fine post it there, but please CC me because I don't do Facebook.
Yes, yeah, like sorry, like along with an email to everyone, I will also post it on Facebook.
And on the website as well, if I may raise my hand for 1 second, going back to the website, which is obviously my obsession. When how are we going to edit the website? Like if we want to throw something up there like that, who does that?
Yes, so I asked John, I was like, I know I'm gonna get that question. So I asked, and he said, let me see if I can quote him directly. Um, so right now, for just the large changes, the getting them all to him in one singular document. So again, if everybody can send me their edits by the 10th, then I can collect those and get them to him in one document. And then currently we haven't set up ability for books to update their content. So books meaning like people like us with who have a page. But we will be able to set up events very soon for the different groups. So it's coming, it sounds like, where we'll have the ability to update our own information, but currently it'll just be sending John a text or an email or sending me a message to then forward to him, etc.
And I'll just say, and I'm sure everyone realizes this, that's really bad. So I'm just putting like, we need a live active type of site where we can put up, like what we have at the top of the site now is when our next meeting is with a link to the Zoom. We need, if we're looking for something like this, people who want to join for the legislative agenda and give ideas. Just my 2 cents. It's something I would really press them on is either having one of us, and I'm certainly happy to do it, or another person who is good with websites or tech or whatever, be a representative that can get in there. I know it's hard. Sometimes they can't do this because of the way the umbrella is set up. But yeah, that's definitely going to be a problem because it needs, in order to stay a live, active, interesting site that people can go to, it needs to be changed and current. The look of it, the pictures for the season, something, it all always needs to be, have a, I can't think of the word, but the basics that are the same, but also something interesting. So that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, and it does have all current information, and he will except there was an issue on our website. We had incorrect dates on meetings on our website, so he was kind of confused about that, so he should have updated them by now on the VDP page
Oh, I'm sure.
to
Yeah, yeah.
have
I'm sure that he had, like, right now it will be current, but in 2 weeks it won't be. Like, even what we're saying right now, we need a shout out on there. Anybody interested in being part of these two committees? Who's the speaker for the next, things like that. It's good. It's going to literally need change in 2 weeks. So I'm just letting you know that this is the
Gotcha.
nature of it. So, all right, I'm muting myself.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. The ability to quickly make edits, it was a question that I had for him, and I knew would be asked. And he did say that he would be able to make those things happen. We just needed to get them to him. But for this initial, like, we'll probably have quite a few initially, and then we'll be able to send him one-offs. And then in per his text message, it sounded like eventually we'll be able to edit our own um, uh, books in certain ways. Like we won't have keys to the whole kingdom, but we will to like certain parts. Um, So I think I hear your concern and I understand and I agree. And I think we are good. Okay. With that, any other questions? Okay. So I will send out that stuff
Matthew,
on
just
the
a minute. Kehlani, this is Matthew. I was talking about, yeah, speaking of that, you're gonna have to update your new secretary on that page, I know Patty's there, but remember, we just elected a new secretary, so we might want to have her information up there ASAP, so nobody
Correct.
exactly,
confused.
yes.
Yeah, that's why I think it's gonna. I think Patty was talking about that live. Now we have to edit that now since now we have a new secretary. Now we gotta get her information, her bio on there, so people will know that she's now the new head secretary. So, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot in
Exactly.
one night, but like I said, but it has to get done to be able to get this ball rolling. So,
Yes. So, Missy, I might have a little homework for you. If you could send me a high res photo and a short bio, you can see what the page looks like and work off of that if you'd like.
okay.
Okay, now um, on to uh, our discussion for the evening and guest. Because all of our excellent business has been taken care of. We have Representative Dave Iacovone here to talk to us about the Vermont State House 731-25 discussion and commentary on the Medicaid Global Commitment Waiver closeout. This is where the committee discussed the process for making transfers among appropriations for Medicaid and Medicaid waiver programs to facilitate the end of the year closeout for fiscal year 2025, focusing on global commitment for health section 1115 demonstration waiver. I am not sure what those uh, that part is. But Dave, would you like to explain and take it away?
I'd be glad to. I don't need to take a lot of time, but what time is it? I don't have my,
We are
how
currently
much
at
time do we have?
6:40. We're at 6:45,
Can we go to
and you
7?
have until 7:15.
Oh, that's plenty. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I apologize. I thought my assignment was to give an update on the July 4th federal legislation, the big, beautiful bill. So if it's okay, I'll do that. But
I would like to hear about that as well.
in passing the 1115 waiver that we have and the global commitment, which gives us great flexibility, my understanding is what happened in the July meeting at the Joint Fiscal Committee was it's just a series of transfers to make sure the money rolls over that's unexpended for next year, but is certainly allocated. It's going for a purpose. So I don't think that there's no, to my knowledge, any policy changes there.
Okay.
What we do know, and it's not definitive yet, a lot of estimates, there's two major aspects to the federal reductions that we're looking at. And the first one that is slated to start the soonest, January 1st, 2026, not that far away, there's roughly 27,000 Vermonters who receive their health care through something called Vermont Health Connect. You'll hear it referred to as the Vermont Exchange. And that's a program whereby Vermonters can go to the website, the Vermont website, and they can select an insurance plan either through Blue Cross or MVP for a single person, a two-person, or a family plan. And they make a decision which plan they want. There's gold, platinum, silver. I think there's one other category. But in any event, which is all about here's what your deductible is, here's what your copay is, the less fancy the name, the silver plan, you pay more out of pocket. Well, since COVID, the Vermonters all over the country, for that matter, have received significant, because that word's in the eye of the beholder, significant subsidies, tax credits, called premium tax credits. And there's roughly, as I mentioned, 27,000 Vermonters receiving $65 to $70 million a year in those subsidies, averages $2,600 per person. So it is significant. So if your premium was $1,000, which is a lot, you paid $700 in change, which is a lot, but it's a lot less than $1,000. That's all going away. Our Congress, bless them, huh? They extended all kinds of tax cuts for the very wealthy, but for the people receiving health insurance through this exchange, gone. They didn't renew it. There are significant estimates, and that's all that they are, from as high as 40,000 Vermonters losing their health care to 4,500. We won't know until probably January or February how many people will disenroll, how many people will throw up their hands and say, that's it, I just can't afford this. But there will surely be some. The impact will be felt all over, but primarily, it's a great worry about primary care. How many people won't go to their general practitioner, primary care doc, to get the help they need when they need it? How many will be forced into the emergency rooms, and what that cost will be? If somebody wanted to backfill that, say, boy, we're going to take Vermont tax revenues that we all pay in one way or another and use it to fill that lost subsidy, it's a big number. 65 to 70 million is huge. The legislature set aside almost $100 million to try to absorb the federal tax cuts that were being talked about when we were doing the budget last April, last May. It would look like that's not going to need to be spent initially this coming year unless a decision is made to do something to help out with these premiums. The other area that we know about that's coming for reductions is something called the provider tax. I'm going to give a little bit of background information, and if eyes start glazing over, just pound on the table or something. Tell me to stop. Vermont and other states have had what's called a provider tax since the 1990s. Started, I think, with nursing homes and hospitals. So our hospitals today pay 6% of what's called their net patient revenue as a tax. They don't like that, but they're assessed a tax, and it's about $190 million. It's a lot of money. Vermont collects this money and is able to put it into the Medicaid program to pay for the services. Medicaid, as folks may know, is the states put up money and the feds make up the difference. So we pay roughly, it changes from year to year, about 40%, and the states pay the other 60%. All of a sudden, the federal government is saying, effective in 2028, I believe, so it's awful, it's not immediate, that provider tax is going to start to shrink from 3.5% down, from 6% down to 3.5% over a 3 to 4 year period. Nicely, in the eyes of the Republicans, I guess it's okay to be partisan on this group. We are the Democratic Disability Caucus, right? Most of these cuts are scheduled to happen after the midterm elections. Machiavellian, and they don't want people to know about them or feel the reductions until after the elections. And a lot of people, I think, are just too smart and they understand that, but a lot may not. We're in this world of me, myself, and I, and rightly or wrongly, a lot of us, understandably, it's human nature, focus on what impacts our sphere of influence in our lives. That reduction, should it hold, and at this point people are assuming it will, that may spill over beyond hospitals. That money that goes into the general fund, that provider tax that will shrink from like 190 million down to 90 million or so, that's a lot of Medicaid money that will be lost. And today it doesn't all just go to hospitals. So while there's not in the big bill that we've know or been told about, there's not I'm going to give some examples. Let's cut choices for care. The federal government didn't say let's reduce that. Let's reduce the developmental disabilities waiver. Cut that. That didn't happen. Let's reduce what we used to call the CRT, Community Rehabilitative and Treatment Mental Health Program waiver. Let's reduce that. That hasn't happened. However, as the money starts to reduce a couple of years from now, those debates are going to be on the table and saying, well, what do we lose or do we backfill it somehow? And try to preserve those kinds of reductions. So that's causes a lot of anxiety because we just don't know. But it's not immediate. It's not like this January, aside from the Vermont Health Connect, aside from that, there's not other wholesale assaults on the Medicaid program directly. There may be some indirectly. And that was explained to legislators at their July 31st meeting, or whenever that was, in the Joint Fiscal Committee. And for those who like to read these kind of things, if you go to the webpage of the Joint Fiscal Committee and you go to the agenda of that July meeting, there are handouts, and there's a 27-page report that speaks to this, and a little bit it's kind of Greekish in nature, but that's where you can get the details that the staff are just starting to unearth to find out what we're going to lose. I'll pause there. I'll come up for air there to see if there's any questions or comments. or if I'm just not being clear.
Could you just repeat again when the provider tax, when is that going to start going down?
I believe it's 2028.
28 is what you said. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, it's either 27 or 28. If I'm taking the quiz in school, I'll say the 28, you know.
Okay,
And
thank
if you
you.
remember, but there's a slight delay. Yeah. Yeah. I see a hand up. Hello.
Hi, my name is Nick, and I'm just curious about I'm just curious about Medicaid work requirements. I work for Vermont Health Connect. That's my day job, and I couldn't imagine that with the staff we have now keeping track of people trying to meet their Medicaid work requirements. It would be really an astounding expansion of bureaucracy.
Incredible, wouldn't it? Yeah, it comes at a cost. And the same thing, we do it now for 3 Squares, otherwise known as food stamps, the SNAP program. People call it different things. There are work requirements, but they're going to be expanded. And there is an apparatus, but I can't either. I can't imagine people keeping track of that. Now, the work requirements do not fall upon the disabled. Thank goodness, right? That would have been really over the top. But they do on the Health Connect. You're absolutely right, Nick. And I don't know, in order to be in compliance, we're going to have to come up, I would think, with some money to track that. Volunteering or working. Yeah, very troubling. So those provider taxes, there's a nursing home provider tax, there's a pharmacy provider tax, there's an ambulance provider tax, hospital provider tax. I think I've covered all of them. But the only one that the Congress focused on was the hospital one. They have made, I think it's many billions of dollars available, 10 billion, whatever, across the country to help stabilize rural hospitals because they understand if they lose Medicaid funding, there's going to be some challenges. So we don't know what the formula is for states to apply for that. There also, I think, will be a discussion. Do we change the Vermont Health Connect program and say, bear with me on this, and say there's no primary care. It's not covered by the policy. So the cost of the insurance should drop. How much, I don't know, but it should be significant. But instead, we're going to take the dollars that would have gone to that and put them into primary care, our federally qualified healthcare centers, our independent healthcare doctors, and say you can still go. And it will be based on income, a sliding scale, and goes up to 300% of poverty. You can get your primary care there and not have to pay anything. You might have a slight copay, and that allows us. Well, you'd still have the work requirement, wouldn't you, Nick? It'd still be there, but it might be a cheaper way of providing services without completely backfilling the lost tax credit, the 65 to 70 million dollars. Don't know if that will hold or not, but I think we'll be looking at options like that. What do you do to protect people? I think I mentioned, if not on this meeting, recently another one. I believe the 1% tax surcharge on Vermonters who make over 500,000 a year, which was estimated to raise $70 million. I think that will be back on the table again to use to help shore up these programs and to stabilize and save the safety net. The governor vetoed that a couple of years ago. Everybody says he would veto it again, but I would say, well, let him. I mean, we've still got to try to do our best to meet this because the folks in that income strata, they're getting these tax breaks. It wouldn't take all their tax break. It would take 1% surcharge of funds over 500,000. There's approximately 3,900 families, tax filers in Vermont who report incomes greater than 500,000. That's according to the Public Assets Institute, and they get this from think tanks across the country. I don't think those Vermonters would bolt and leave their grandkids and the Vermont way of life if they had to pay a 1% surcharge. I really don't. There's numbers as to how much that would equate to for each tax filer. And I think most people would say, gee, that's not unreasonable. They're getting huge tax breaks from the big, beautiful bill. Could a portion of it be used to save us on the state level? Any reaction to that? Pro or con? Are those thumbs up? Yeah. I think there'll be broad support for that. I really do. I
This is
don't know what
Matthew.
to
This
do
is
it.
Matthew. Yes, yeah, that was wasn't a thumbs up. That was a hands up. Yes, I do have that question. I do think asking that is a big ask, but you got a Republican governor and you got his, how Phil Scott thinks, At this point, if it says, oh, we want to raise taxes, he already says no.
I
And
know.
like I said, it's just, how can we relate that message in a way where it says, we got to find ways to backfill this, or it's going to end up on you no matter what. It's going to be, regardless, you are in control. It will be your fault regardless, because you're the ones that make a decision. You got to make a decision for members that need health care. I don't think it's just, Medicaid, Medicare. I think it's going to affect us all in our premiums. That includes Blue Cross and Blue Shield and
Yeah,
MVP too as well. I think it's going to look
absolutely.
at that. I think he looks at it a broader scope. I think he just doesn't look at just the Medicare, Medicaid. I think he looks at the whole broader scope and say, how much and it's his mind thinking. I said, how much is this going to cost us? And if these programs or whatever goes away, there's a lot of people buy-ins or bidding for whatever these other corporations in Vermont companies already bidding for whatever money is left in the pot. So how are we going to make sure that prioritization, like you said, gets made? Because with that money gone, now we got to prioritize. And this could be how should I say this? This could be a very thoughtful discussion if the governor doesn't support it this time around. He may have to support it, but like I said, if he says no, it's just like I said, they call it the one big beautiful bill for the disability community across America. They call it the one big beautiful disaster, basically, because it basically does a lot of damaging and it only profits the more ones that are the wealthiest. So, like I said, Vermont's like literally in the crosshairs, of this negative, not just Vermont, but the poverty states, that are less looked on are going to feel it more because, like I said, we're not the Fortune 500. It's basically the ones that turn a tide in the, for the presidency. We're not one of those states. So,
Matthew, I agree. I agree. My fear is that I'm going to back up a little bit. Every budget the governor's submitted since he became governor, 2017, and took office, only once has he recommended a wage increase for the hands-on caregivers and choices for care, or developmental disabilities, or mental health. Even though his webpage says what his top priorities are, and one of them is to help the most vulnerable, he's never recommended a wage increase, only once. The legislature has provided wage increases by cutting other programs. They're very modest, 2 or 3%, which they could be more. My fear is, though, if we have to come up with these millions of dollars to backfill the healthcare system, it'll be really hard to come up with the dollars to give in cost of living increases to the critical safety net providers. Hard to recruit them, hard to retain them, hard to reward them. And it's just demoralizing when they do this incredibly hard work, important work, and they can't get a pay raise. So that
yeah,
fight will occur.
yeah. Thank you, the representative. It's just like Massachusetts. Bill Scott could take a page out of the Massachusetts representative governor, and he's a Republican. He says Vermont, we could do, like I said, increases of wage like New York. They all increase their wages to make that difference up, make in taxes. So that the more taxes, the more the wage they have to come up with. And like I said, I think the Republicans, Governor, you may know, Governor Phil Scott likes to do things cheap, and try to basically take advantage of the communities that are going to be felt hard the most. And it's basically just going to turn prospect members away. So I think wages definitely hasn't kept up for a long time. I think if we did a wage scale with the Massachusetts wage scale, I think that would have been more incrementally raise the wage if we're seeing higher taxes, so we can level that off, so we're not like paying more but getting less out of it. We should be getting the same back. Of course,
Yes.
basically dollars on the penny. We should basically get our money back from as much we put in, instead of
Sure. It's a horrible cost shift, because these costs will be borne somewhere, either in your emergency room or adverse childhood experiences. They won't go away. So that's what I have to say. I'm happy to, at any point in the future, when the picture should become more in focus, I'm happy to come back.
Thank
Dave,
you, Dave. Yes.
Susan Aronoff has had her hand
Oh,
up for a
hi.
while.
Yes, and I did just want to remind everyone that the secretary will call on folks with raised hands and keep track of that. And to answer your question, Dave, yes, we will definitely be coming back to you. But
I have an odd
and
question. I'm sorry. I thought, so is Misi the secretary now, or am I? I wasn't looking for the hands because.
for the rest of today, I think it's you, but just to
I'm
keep things
sorry.
moving, I think we should just move it, give Susan the floor to ask her question.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Hi, good evening, Representative Yakavone. It's great
Good
to see
evening.
you. Thank you for spending
Good to see. Yeah.
time. And anytime anyone talks about the global commitment waiver, that's a good time, because not enough people, I think, really understand it and how much depends on it, especially for the lives of people with disabilities. This is a comment more than a question. I think the Democrats have to come up with a different strategy than going all in on something that they know the governor's gonna veto, because like with the folks who are unhoused, that's just not a good strategy for actually solving the problem, as we're seeing play out in our streets and in downtowns. And so I'll leave you with that thought. I don't have a great solution of how do we get Phil Scott or the folks under the dome to yes, but I think that we got to bring some people along, so that you can sustain a veto.
No, not right now.
Yeah,
Hopefully
I know, not right now. So I don't know why you
hopefully
would
the
go
next
all in on
election.
something that he would veto. It just seems like, why?
Well,
That's my comment.
if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. And if what we do is nothing, we'll surely get nothing. But if we try, and even if we fail, maybe that helps the next Democrat who's running for governor against him. I hate to see the carnage and the problems in the street that people are going to feel and say, well, what did you do about it? Well, we did nothing. We couldn't get people to yes. Trust me, there's a lot of people who won't vote for any increases of any other kind. Rooms and meals, pick. If there's not more revenue, you have to cut more then to reallocate revenue. And where would those cuts be? So it's really hard. So I would say, put the pressure with the rapid response team and put the pressure on Republicans to say, this is your opportunity to stand for the most vulnerable. Because if you don't, who will? But I hear what you're saying. Your message is, and it's not a bad one. I'm not disrespecting it. Why would you do something you know it's not going to work? Well, I've got to try something, haven't I? Now, I'll certainly be looking for other options.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. And I can be talked out of this. I don't want to be the only one out on the limb pushing a revenue increase, but it's pretty tough when you know the pain that people are going to be feeling. Well, thank you all for listening.
Dave, I actually have one more question for you.
Sure.
Sort of parroting off of what Susan was talking about and then what you went into. What can this caucus do? And you don't need to answer right now. Perhaps think on it. What could we do as a caucus to bolster uh, things to make positive change? Like you mentioned, having our rapid response team when that's up and going, to go to the Republicans to, plead for them to, or walk the talk. And this is their time to stand up for those who are vulnerable. Um, the global commitment waiver, like, is there a way that we could support that? Any ideas like that you have for us? Please, like I said, you don't have to spill out a bunch right now, but
Well, I do. If I may, it won't take
oh,
long.
go for it.
I would simply look at the legislative committee assignments, healthcare, ways and means, appropriations, maybe human services. And I would look at the members on that committee. I start with the Republicans, not all, and some Democrats may need to be encouraged also, but I would certainly start with Republicans. And I'd say, if you have any kind of membership in this caucus, any kind of contact information saying there's John Doe and he lives in Williamstown, who do we know on this caucus that lives in Williamstown or in that legislator's district?
Love that.
Pardon?
Love that.
Yep. And so you do it now, and you find, oh, it doesn't take an army. Because remember, if I'm in Williamstown, I'm representing 3 or 4 towns likely around that town. So you take that and say, that's Representative John Doe. He lives in Williamstown. He represents these 4 towns. Who do we have who are members? Some people are shy. They don't want to call anybody. So it's a lot easier to send an email. And we have them ready. We get them ready there. And people like Susan and other who are really great at this, when the issue starts to come, and you'll know about it, here's the message. Dear Representative John Doe, I'm your constituent. I hope you'll help me. My family needs this help. Will you vote for X? They need to hear from people. And believe me, 3 or 4 people is a big deal for a legislator, because they know if there's 3 or 4, there's more that are there. And I would email them. I would call it. You can always call, the team, the rapid response team. So they can call the State House Sergeant at Arms and say, "My name's Dave Iacoboni. Would you please deliver this message to Susan?" And it's so all of a sudden they're starting to feel, hey, what's going on? So that's what I would do. I mean, that's the kind of thing methodically you can build the contact list, and then we'll help with the message,
Great.
whatever it is that deals with disability issues. It gives people something to do too.
Developing that message is something I think the rapid response team would do. And then I think we would ask your input to take a look at the message and if it hits what you think.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. The 3 squares issue, there's a lot of disabled people who rely on food stamps, right?
Yeah.
Well, we know by town in Vermont how many information's available. I just read it the other day. We know how many people in your hometown are on 3 squares. So if you're a legislator and I say, Susan, there's 4,200 people or 400 people in Williamstown on food stamps, and they're reducing it, that you usually will get someone's attention. Or the average benefit for somebody over age 65 is $217. Try to eat on that. Yeah, and I can, so that I can help. The more data you have to accompany the message makes it more powerful. Think of yourself if you were a legislator and you run for office and somebody said, there's 92 citizens in Little Elmore that are receiving this benefit. My antenna, if it doesn't go up, something's wrong. But
I'm
yes,
holding my hand up. Sorry, go ahead, David. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
no, go right ahead.
I'm just holding my hand up because I wanted to make a suggestion, something that I've always found. I used to work with events and things like that and getting attention for matters. I'm new to the whole political thing. I've learned so much by being part of this caucus. It's amazing. But one thing I think that's really important and really makes an impact, a lot of people can ignore. They can read an email and be like, oh yeah, I care, or whatever. But it doesn't, I believe in the power of seeing people. And so if you send an email, if you could make part of your signature your picture,
Oh,
or a picture
absolutely.
of yourself with your family, your dogs, your cats, your like whatever it is you have, it personalizes you, and they're looking at you. A lot of times they don't even read the emails, but if they see an attachment, they might look at it, or they might maybe put it in the subject line, here's a picture of me and my family, so they don't say, I don't know what this attachment is. There are just ways to, and even, I mean, I believe in going right in person and going, they have to see, and
Yeah,
not even so much, I mean, yes to the legislators and yes to the representatives, but also to the people with the money. And I'm not sure how I haven't really formed the, but I'm thinking like if somebody's making $500,000 a year and they get a chance to talk to someone who makes $15,000 a year and is on support, um and because people who make over $500,000 a year, and if they've done this their whole life or whatever, they had money, they don't really, I don't think they really believe or realize that someone is trying to make it by in a month with $500. They don't, they're like, well, but they get support. It's like, yeah, but you know, there's so many different ways to challenge and make positive events where I do this with the animal issues too. I don't want to be part of any event or push that has pictures of beaten up animals. It's like, we know that happens. We don't need to see that. But what we need to see is that these people, they need help. How can we help them? Or like with the animals, with the rescue, show the rescues, show them afterwards. If people could, if they could have a day somewhere, even at local coffee shops, where people could just meet and talk with each other. It's kind of hippie 60s pie in the sky, but it really does make a difference when someone making a lot of money can see, wow, this is a real person. This isn't just a number or an email or whatever. Even just like I say, attaching a picture, attaching a website, maybe that you have your info up on. So that's just my info, my suggestion, my experience.
well said. Great idea. Some people might need help. I don't know how to attach my picture onto this little email, but so a lot of people do
Right,
know how to do that. But
right.
yeah, all those kind of things are just so helpful. Make it real. If you can, if you have a town meeting, go to town meeting. The legislators are there, track them down. And it's okay to say, Dave, I sent you an email 4 weeks ago. I know you're busy, but I didn't hear from you. I hope you're still working on this issue. Nothing more keeps it generating there, Tuna.
Very good point. So we are at a little bit over our time here with Dave. Thank you so much. Matthew, I saw that you had your hand up. Would you be able to type your question or comment in the chat? And then we could maybe get it to Dave at a later time, just so we can move on to our other business and announcements. Does that sound good to you, Matthew?
It wasn't for it wasn't for Dave. It was for Patty response. But that could be
Oh,
later.
Thank you,
gotcha.
Matthew.
Okay. Thanks. All right, perfect. Good. Well, Dave, thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome.
That
You
has
put
given
you.
us, yeah, a lot
Yeah.
to think about and work on. We'll definitely do some sleuthing, and I love the idea of, finding those Republican neighbors. And
Mhm.
I mean, I'm one to just knock on a door and say hello. um, or a front porch forum post. Those are also really good. We're really lucky in Vermont to have that.
Yes, we are.
So yes, thank you. Thank you again. Um, on to other business and announcements. Meg, I see you here. Hi. I forgive me if you've been a member of this caucus or have joined us before. I can't remember.
There you go. I think maybe it was the night that you weren't there was when I have been here before. I've missed 2 months, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome back.
Um,
Good to see
yeah,
you.
it was my
If
client
I
went
had,
late, but I figured
yes, we'd
going
be
for
here.
perfection is, you know, it's how nothing happens. So here, but late, but here. Glad to be here.
Good, good, good. Good to see you. And you have been voted in as a member, or would you like to? Okay.
I was voted in.
Perfect. Great, great, great. So that doesn't need to be taken care of. Is there any other, are there any other announcements or business that anyone would like to talk about? Or we can talk more about this rapid response team. No announcements? Nothing? Okay. Um, so with with this big beautiful bill happening, um, and fiscal year 2025 coming to a close, um, my thoughts, I'm just running through my notes here. Sorry, it's all the crinkling of paper. My thoughts are on timing. Um, I know we talked about waiting for Representative Burrows to discuss the rapid response team further. Um, However, I think we could at least get a show of hands for anyone who might be interested in joining that. Again, it would probably mean meeting once or twice to outside of this meeting on Zoom to develop the rapid response nitty-gritty logistics, then um and then be like a part of like a phone tree. We don't have those anymore, but a technology tree uh to get the news out. Ewan, oh, you gotta leave, no worries. We will have someone else call for adjournment. Um, so if is there anyone here? I know I'm gonna be a part of the rapid response team. Anyone else interested in possibly being a part of that? And you don't have to like commit to the being like the whole thing. If you can only do like a little bit, that's fine if you just want to participate in some way.
I would like to hear more. I think I missed some of the beginning part. So I'd
Oh,
like to
great.
hear if there's a way I can help, but not right now. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like
Great.
another explanation about it again. I'm not quite sure what the duties would be.
okay. Yeah, I'm
Um,
interested in hearing more in the future. So
yeah, so just like in a really broad, tiny nutshell, so the rapid response team takes a look at uh like breaking news matters that affect the disability community in Vermont, like these cuts to Medicaid that are happening, and the team formulates a way to respond to them as representatives of the caucus. For instance, Dave was suggesting that we would find folks, like we'd go through um, the the list of legislators in our area or our respective area, and find out what members of the caucus have Republican legislators in their area, and then they would personally write to them with a message that is formed by the rapid response team. Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah. So yes, I'm
Great. I'm
writing.
also, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm sort of losing my spoons. So I feel like I'm sort of rambling and then a bit like scrambled.
That seems like a good recap to
Okay,
me.
good.
That
All
put
right.
together the things I heard and what I thought it was about. That all makes sense.
Sweet, sweet.
But yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna mute me.
Meg, do we have your email? Are you on the email list?
I think so because I did a form on the website for
Okay, great.
Did
Do you mind putting your email in the chat just so I have it for kicks?
Have you received a reminder email from
I
about
have it
the
on my, I don't know, because I had it on my calendar and that's how I knew about it.
but you
And
didn't get an email?
I don't know if I did because I haven't checked my,
Oh, okay, that's fine. If you had it on the calendar, then we have your email. I just wanted to check.
yeah.
Thank you.
I'll put it in here. I'm like not great at doing two things at once, so apparently that was too complicated. Okay.
That's fine.
No
Oh,
worries.
oops, I sent it to David instead of to Representative. Thank you for. All right, I'm gonna mute me and I'll figure that out.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, so just type it in the chat if you don't mind, Meg. Cool. Sorry, so did I see any other hands besides myself? Meg? Anybody? Anybody? No worries. I totally understand. It's like we all have a lot on our plates, and just showing up to these caucus meetings is like the most important. Um, really appreciate it. Meg, I got your email. Thank you. Well, if there are no other business that anyone wants to bring up or announcements, I think we can end 2 minutes early.
Matthew, yeah, I do think we should have something to put on just put on our play on our radar that, like what David said, and know that other part is not just Medicare. We'll talk about that SNAP, those benefits, because it's clear. It's right now it's unclear. From what I'm seeing, and I pass this along to my resources, it's unclear at this point of what those SNAP, benefits. It says 65 and older, but it doesn't say anything detailed about individuals with disabilities. It doesn't have it. Doesn't clarify if we're on that list or not. So that's still a work in progress. People still are wondering. I know it says it protects. There is a protection of who it will protect, of which populations it will protect. But when it says 65 and older, that will protect veterans too as well. But when I looked at that, that business, this might be something that we might want to add for next business to conduct, because we do not know if we're safe or not in that criteria.
That's a good point. I will make note of that. Matthew, I know 100% you are way too busy, but I think you would be a lovely person for us to perhaps go to for any like breaking news type things. Would that be okay with you if I sent you an email if I had a question on something that the rapid response team might need to address?
I can send it to you in email. I have it. I have literally every email that I sent from the state, and it's from the state. Believe me, it's state official. Believe me, it's nuts. On my side, it's nuts. Completely nuts.
Okay.
I mean, it's
Okay.
literally, if you don't get involved, you're done. Your town's done too as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how it is. And for my preference view, but yeah, I'll as soon as I that information, I'll send it to you by email, and you can look at it. And yeah, you might want to take a look at gander at that, because if there are some specifications of the SNAP benefits that we need to take a gander and try to let other members know. Because it is very just as important as the Medicare and Medicaid side of things.
Yeah, fantastic. And if you want to forward any other things like that to me, please do. Nicholas, I saw your Nick, sorry.
Hi, yeah. I just want to say I'm sorry I was late for the meeting. Yeah,
Oh,
my
you're
select
fine.
board, the select
Yeah,
board
the select board meeting. Yeah.
duties. Yeah, they've been keeping me busy. But other than that, I'd be willing to help out if you need any help. I don't want to join the team because I'm kind of overstressed as it is.
Okay, great.
But yeah, if you need any help, feel free to reach out, and look forward to being on time next meeting.
Thank you. Yeah, we need we haven't heard a report from you in a while. Okay, now we're 2 minutes over. How'd that happen? Do I hear a call to adjourn the August 2025 meeting of the Vermont Democratic Disability Caucus?
I'll make a
Yes.
motion.
I second.
Okay. We have adjourned at 7:32 p.m. Thank
Be
you
well,
so
everyone.
much.
Be
Bye,
well.
Bye, everyone.
everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dave.
Nick.
You
And
bet.
congratulations,
you.
BC. I'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Woo!
All right. Bye,
Talk to you
everyone.
soon.